We are 2 days away from December. It is Thanksgiving weekend, and you know what that means. It is playoff football. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Addison Stadium here at California, Pennsylvania for Super Region 1, Round 2
Field Judge Andrew McClure, back judge Drew
where the California Vulcans host the Bobcats of Frostburg State. My name is Hunter Garman, and join with me always is my good friend and broadcast partner, Jonathan Sabe. Sabe, how are you doing on this cold but beautiful November afternoon?
I'm doing great. Like you said, it's freezing here in California, but not a better time to have some football. You know, everyone's dancing still. It's got that beautiful football weather out here in southwestern Pennsylvania, and not a better time to
be sure to access the official NCAA digital game program on your mobile device free of charge.
But we are here
visit ncaa.com/game program for an inside look at today's championship.
California and Frostburg State, and also Assumption at Kutztown. That game, I believe, is either getting underway as well here soon or has a little bit of time yet to go. But we are here. Both of these teams coming off of statement victories in round one. California coming off the statement 27-24 win at Virginia Union, and Frostburg coming off a demanding victory 21-7 at Johnson C. Smith.
And again, both these teams going into those matchups as the visitors, both teams as the underdogs in those games, upsetting both of those teams, both teams in the in their respective conferences, and that leads California then to host this contest. And this matchup, again, like we talked about, that faced off earlier this season for the first time, and I believe it was over 40 years the first time these two teams played. Now they're playing twice in the same season, so very, very strange set of circumstances. Not many times you see that. A chance for Frostburg to kind of redeem themselves in that way, to upset California in that regard, to get their revenge here in this contest, but in a different look for both teams. Both teams with a big major change in that aspect, both with a different quarterback at the helm. Rowan Purcell now starting at quarterback here today for California, and Jordan Brooks starting at quarterback here for Frostburg. Both were not starting at quarterback in their last matchup.
We are underway here at Adamson Stadium. Ball is fielded at about the 11 by Paul Armstead, and he takes it up to about the 25, and there is a fumble at about the 30, and the Vulcans are celebrating like they have it. And California already off to an electric start, as they do come up with the football, and California starts it off with a bang.
On the return here, you can take a look at the replay.
It'll be first and 10 Vulcans.
Just gets absolutely lit up, and yeah, the ball comes out clear as day. Number 42 for California, Tawan Bandy, able to poke that one loose, and number 21 for California, Jack Riley, comes down with the football. So California, with the great field position, able to force a turnover right away and get a chance to get on the board earlier.
California finds themselves at about the 30-yard line, looking to punch in the first score of the game. Man in motion, that's Rowan Hershey, the tight end. First pass is going to be a pass caught by Johnson, and he gets stood up right where he caught it at about the 35-yard line. Gain of 5. It'll be 2nd and 5 for the
on the play.
Like I said, the last time these two teams played,
McTeer on the spot. That'll bring up a second down and 5 from the 25.
For 99 yards, 2 touchdowns. California as a team had 126 yards on the ground. So it's going to be about punching it through and just trying to get these early down yardage. And like I said, Rowan Purcell now in at quarterback. It was Peyton Hill the last time for California. So a difference in at quarterback, and with the cold weather, and it's been snowing the last couple of days here in California, might change the dynamic. Trying to throw the ball as there's a whistle blown. I think California is taking a timeout.
California takes the timeout. The play clock was winding down and couldn't really figure out what they wanted to do on offense. But as you said, the last time these two teams played each other, California got the upper hand, winning 31-26. It was really, I don't think many people kind of anticipated what exactly went on during that game, where it was kind of a shocking victory. California unranked, Frostburg State came into that game ranked, and California able to pull off the upset.
Yeah, you can take a look at that replay again, just on that opening kickoff. us to this moment on the return. Like I said, fielded at the 11, and it was Dewan Bandy just getting a hand on it as he was getting blocked, just a punch with the right hand, able to knock that one loose. Like you said, it was a very weird game last time these two teams played. There were just 2 special teams touchdowns, one for either team. Osmond Fanny had a 92-yard kickoff return touchdown. Deontay Williams from California had an 87-yard kickoff return touchdown. Malachi Thomas had a 42-yard pick six. Frostburg State had a blocked punt return for a touchdown. It was really, really strange, but California thrives in these kind of weird games and able to get the upper hand and win.
So 2nd down and 5. Purcell looking to throw, gets it to Lewis. Lewis tries the outside, able to break one tackle, forced out of bounds after a gain of couple. Looks like a gain of 4 and forced a 3rd and 1.
Great job that time by Hershey, just doing enough just to set the edge to give Hershey a lane, or to give Lewis, the lane to run on the outside to pick up some positive yards and give it a 3rd manageable here for California. And you're kind of in that mode here when you're in and around the 3rd and short, where you give the offense a couple of chances where if you're Coach Dunn, you might want to look for, it might be 4-down territory here to try to get an early touchdown.
3rd down and 2. Tyler Long in motion. They're going to be handoff to Agnor, his first handoff of the game, and he muscles his way down for enough for the 1st down. It'll be a fresh set of downs for California.
And Agnor, again, he's really done a great job picking up for Bobby Boyd Jr. during this season. In the last couple of weeks, he's done a tremendous job just continuously picking up positive yardage and just really adding to this game. Last week, 122 yards on the ground and a touchdown in that game against Virginia Union.
4 receivers split wide for California. Purcell is going to keep it himself and get spun down after no gain, maybe a loss of 1. What did you said with Kendrick Agnor taken over for Bobby Boyd, who got injured early in the year and has started to prove himself as the season has gone on and become the reliable workhorse for California.
Yeah, he's really made that backfield his own. Him and Dejon Craigette have really been a formidable 1-2 punch in the backfield. But again, it's really hard to fill the shoes of Bobby Boyd, but both of those backs for California have done a great job at really filling that void. And I'm sure we'll see a ton of Kendrick Agnor here today.
2nd down and 11 for California. Purcell has Johnson on the slant, but just a little bit too far out of his reach, and that falls incomplete, and it'll force a 3rd down and long for California.
Yeah, that time there was some great pressure off the outside by number 31, Christian Taylor. There for Frostburg, just able to beat the left tackle here today for California. Solomon Ortiz filling in for Jake King on the left side and able to kind of force Roman Purcell off his spot just a little bit and force a bit of a missed throw and force a 3rd and long here for California.
3rd down and 11 for the Vulcans. Man in motion. Purcell back to pass. Fires one over the middle. That one just behind Johnson this time. And California gets stood up, and the field goal unit will come out to try and get some points on the board.
Yeah, that one's just a bit unfortunate there for California. Johnson and Purcell just not quite on the same page, because Johnson had a little bit of separation. It looked like he would have had enough yardage for the 1st down, but the throw a little bit behind him, Johnson didn't really quite turn his head around in time, and the pass falls incomplete, and Radcliffe and the field goal unit out here for California to try to get some points on the board first.
Radcliffe to attempt the field goal. It's a good snap. It's a good hold. The kick is up, and it is no good. Missed it wide to the left, and Frostburg State holds on and forces the turnover on downs.
Yeah, we can take another look at that one. It looked a little odd coming off of the foot there. I don't know if there was a hand that got a tip on it on the way through. So we can take another look at that kick. Decent hold by Gonzalez, but on the way through just took that spin that tailed it to the left, and a big missed opportunity for California. And Harry Radcliffe California had the ball right on the doorstep. I mean, you force a turnover on the first play, you get the ball 1st and 10 deep within Frostburg territory, you don't come away with any points.
I'm sure kickers will tell you that kicking in cold weather is never really fun, as the football becomes pretty much like a rock, as the handoff is to Owen Doyle, the running back, and he'll take it up for a Frostburg first down, as on the first handoff, Frostburg moves the chains.
Charney on the stop.
Last week against Johnson C. Smith, KJ Smothers and Owen Doyle combined for over 200 yards apiece, 115 for Smothers, 95 for Doyle, and combined 3 touchdowns. So those two backs for Frostburg are going to be tough for California to handle.
See how they deal with it here. Brooks back to pass. Fires one over the middle. Receiver kind of fell down on the route there, and a flag comes in late.
There is a flag on the play.
And that will be pass interference, as Khalil Taylor was in coverage, and he'll get called on the penalty.
Yeah, it was Cruz Paul Umstead just going up the seam there that time and had a couple of steps on Khalil Taylor. And like you said, it looked like it was a little bit of a trip as their legs got tangled. And as we can take a look here at that replay, just a huge, big swing play that time, as yeah, you can see right there, just pushing down Cruz Umstead and flips the field. And now Frostburg get the ball right at midfield.
Pretty costly penalty for the Vulcans, as it's 1st and 10. Bobcats from about the 50. Man goes in motion. That's Adamas, the receiver. Could be a handoff to Doyle again, and Doyle goes right up the middle, is able to stay on his feet for a little bit, able to spin away, and Doyle rumbles his way down for a gain of about 7.
Yeah, he's extremely tough to tackle, and we saw that the last time these two teams played as well, and that's something that this defense has struggled with, is tackling at the first marker. We've seen California have to send 2, 3, 4 guys to try to bring down some of these threats every single time. Last time Doyle had 52 yards on the ground, Smothers had 67 as a team. Frostburg had 163 total yards on the ground for a touchdown.
Bunch of motion for the Bobcats. Maybe handoff again to Doyle. This time gets back to the original line of scrimmage.
No gain on the play.
California doing a good job there to stop the run.
For the Vulcans. That'll bring up a 3rd down and 2.
It was great stuff that time. It was Alexi Sangster Jr. coming in and just filling the gaps and just holding up Doyle just enough to push him back and putting you in a good position at 3rd and short here to get a stop. And again, I think you're within 4-down territory if you are Frostburg, where you don't really want to punt it away if you're in this position, and it's definitely too far to kick it.
Smothers now the back for the Bobcats. They're going to fake the handoff to him, and the pass is caught by Paul Umstead over the slant. And it'll be another fresh set of downs for the Bobcats.
And that's the second time they've gone after Khalil Taylor. Again, you could take a look at the replay, just a standard read option, and that time a zip right off the hands of Brooks. And Paul Umstead just got a couple of steps on Taylor on that slant route, and great job at just getting in front of his man, able to hold on with, there's a couple of bodies when you're going right over the middle and that man coverage. It's really hard to hold on when you're bracing for that contact, but able to hold on, pick up the 1st down, and keep the drive alive here for Frostburg.
Smothers is still the back. They're going to hand off to him this time. Smothers takes it up the middle. Gain of about 3 on the play. Brings up a 2nd and 7 from the 30.
And that's kind of the difference between this game compared to the first matchup when Pfeiffer was in at quarterback for Frostburg. We saw a lot of times with Pfeiffer in at the helm where he looked a bit uncomfortable, especially in those 3rd down passing situations where he wasn't really able to convert. You saw a couple of errant throws. He was able to move around, scrambling, running with the football, but he wasn't entirely accurate with his throws. With Brooks back in at quarterback, it brings an entirely different dynamic to this offense that California has to stop.
Brooks is going to fake the handoff, looking deep. That one, ball comes out and picked up by the Vulcans and still rumbling down to about the 38-yard line. Vulcans force another turnover. It was Keith Spell who picked up the loose ball. And the Vulcans stand strong and get another turnover.
And it's going to go to Cedric Vase, just forcing all sorts of pressure and just pokes the ball out of the arms of Jordan Brooks. And I think you saw Brooks get a little flustered there and was kind of in between the two minds of trying to throw it away or hold on to. And I think it looked like, at least on the replay, Vase did just enough to just smack the arm and force the fumble. And that's 2 turnovers now that this Vulcans team has been able to force. And now, if you're California, this offensive drive is super important. I mean, you can't force 2 turnovers this early in the game and not come away with any points.
That's one of the things that we really had talked about in the open, where both these teams have 2 different quarterbacks now at the helm from the last time they met. Obviously, Purcell for California and Pfeiffer Brooks for Frostburg today, as it was Hill and Pfeiffer respectively. But 1st and 10 for the Vulcans. Rowan Hershey in motion. Purcell's going to look to pass. Fires one, has his man wide open. Kenny Lewis, he makes the grab down at about the 36-yard line. Kenny Lewis able to break free.
Yeah, beautiful adjustment that time by Lewis. Frostburg looking to send the house. Great protection. Everyone able to pick up the blitzes, and that time Lewis left all alone and able to adjust to the ball thrown by Purcell and able to get the feet down inbounds and just pick up a huge chunk of yardage for the first down, and now within inside of Bobcat territory.
1st and 10 from the 37 for California. It'll be a handoff to Agnor, and Agnor takes it upfield for a gain of about 5.
A 4 on the play.
Vulcans running some hurry up here.
Taylor on the stop.
Another handoff to Agnor, trying the right side of that line. Gets stood up, maybe after a gain of about 1.
Yeah, we've seen them do it a couple of times this season, especially early on, just trying to catch the defenses off guard, just trying to whittle them down. You know, it's a battle of attrition, especially with these big defensive linemen. You want to wear them down early on, just especially if you're running the ball super well. But a couple of quick stops, you're now in a 3rd and medium situation, and California now in a passing down here on 3rd and 5.
3rd and 5 for California. Hershey in motion. Bobcats send the blitz. Pass is caught, and then it dropped in and out of the hands by Williams. Williams had the first, but just couldn't hold on as Purcell tries to zip that one in.
Yeah, a bit unfortunate, but a bit of a high throw. But as he's coming down, he sees the defenders in his way. But California looking to go for it here on 4th down.
Look to go for it on 4th down. No flag on the play, but Purcell's going to air one out deep down the field, and that one falls incomplete. There is a flag on the play on the far side at about the 31. They're going to get, I believe, Frostburg on the offside.
Offside, 31, defense. 5 yards on, reserves on 1st down.
They're going to get number 31, Christian Taylor, jumped offside, and that gives California a fresh set of downs.
1st and 10 Vulcans from the 27.
Yeah, a great job that time by Purcell with using his cadence to force the jump. And I think once you saw that movement, he knew it was a free play, so he decided to just try to air it out down the field.
1st and 10, Lewis in motion. Going to hand off to Agnor. Gets stood up at the line of scrimmage, but pushed back. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Taylor on the stop.
Well, Taylor makes up for it on the next play that time. He sniffs it out. He knew immediately. He saw that jet sweep motion that time by Lewis, and he immediately was able to pounce on Agnor and force a gain of nothing.
2nd down and 10 for the Vulcans. Jake Lehue in at tight end. Purcell looking to throw. Has his man Lewis on the outside, and Lewis able to get a couple of yards before being forced out of bounds. At about the 20-yard line, it'll bring up a 3rd down and short.
And Lewis has done a great job this season as establishing himself as that third receiver. It's been Johnson, it's been Williams, and he's really stepped up at becoming that third option, whether it's been for Hill or now for Purcell, at just giving an extra option to throw to, because those two require a lot of attention by opposing defenses, but Lewis has done a great job at giving these quarterbacks options.
Amir Spencer in motion for California. As Purcell looking to pass, finds Spencer on the outside. He gets, I believe, pushed out just shy of the line to gain. It'll be 4th down and very short for California. We'll see if they decide to go for it again.
Just a yard short. That'll bring up a 4th down and 1.
It looks like they are. As the offense stays in the field, they bring a little bit of a heavier package.
A great hit that time. It was Marquise Alsop and Will Burns, the corner, is able to force Spencer down about a yard short.
4th down and short here. Johnson in motion for California. Direct snap to Johnson. And Johnson is going to lunge his way forward enough for the 1st down. And California with a little bit of trickery there to start the game.
Yeah, we've seen them do that a couple of times this season. And Johnson, he's 6'3", 190 pounds. He's just a big guy, and it's going to be extremely hard for somebody or for defenses to kind of hone down on him. And when you have Kendrick Aguilar behind him, just giving him that extra shove to propel him past the 1st down marker, it's going to be hard. So great play call by Coach Salisbury and the Vulcan offense to give California a 1st down and keep this drive alive.
Fresh set of downs for California, knocking on the doorstep of the first points of the game. Purcell, handoff to Aguilar. Aguilar finds the outside. Aguilar trying the edge. Aguilar able to try and stay in bounds. Steps out at around the 8-yard line.
Steps out of bounds.
Yeah, Will Burns there for Frostburg just saved a touchdown. Some great blocking up front, but it was the speed of Aguilar on the outside as Burns just tripped up Aguilar enough as he was heading for that pylon. Some great defense that time by Burns just to trip him up enough to force him down.
2nd down and 1 for California, just a couple yards out from the score. Hershey in motion. They're going to hand to Aguilar again. Aguilar tried to fighting his way forward, gets enough for the 1st down, and down at the 1. California knocking on that door of the first points of the game.
It's not talked about enough. We've talked to Aguilar about how he's super physical. He's super punchy. I akin to him a lot like Doug Martin, just muscle hamster, may he rest in peace. Just really powerful runner. But he's been super explosive this drive, at least, just super quick on the ball.
1st and goal from the 2. Purcell, handoff to Aguilar again. Tripped up this time, and a flag does fly. It's on the near side. Ref is pointing to the defense.
Offside. Defense.
And they're going to get an offside on the defense.
Half the distance to the goal. Still 1st down.
And it'll bring up half the distance, so it'll move it a yard, which definitely changes up the play. But it will be 1st and goal from the 1 as California looking to punch it in.
There's another offside penalty against Christian Taylor, number 31, who's now flipped sides to. So California now, again, just half a yard out. Now Purcell under center.
Purcell fakes the tush push and rumbling in for the touchdown. Deshaun Craggett. California finds themselves on the board first.
And when you've shown that you can run that tush push effectively, it opens up so many options. And we've seen this a couple of times this season where they line up under center and then they have so many options where you can hand it off any which way. And you see Purcell line up and then you use those other 2 backs in the backfield as lead blockers, and Craggett just gets an open lane into the end zone for the touchdown.
Radcliffe on to attempt the extra point to make it a 7-0 game to start. The kick is up, and this time it is good. 7-0 the score so far. California, after forcing 2 turnovers early on, finds themselves up first.
And that touchdown was important. California needed to get on the board after that one because you couldn't force those 2 turnovers in the first quarter without coming away with any points. It was imperative that they came away with something. I mean, the missed kick on the first one, I mean, you can kind of live with it, but that one, you needed to come away with something. But California, they did their job. They marched down the field. It was a great drive from Purcell and the offense, but they did exactly what they needed to do.
We talked a few times with this California defense and also special teams just being able to force turnovers and force these plays to the point of where it's kept them in the game for so long. As we get ready to set up for the kick. Armstead and I believe that's number 30. Not number 30, excuse me. It's going to be number 38, Osmond Fanny, back there for the Bobcats.
He returned one last time against California for a touchdown, so
he did.
He is one to watch out for. Got a note from our director, Gary Smith. The reason why we don't have any down and distance on the screen, if you're watching, is that this is being transmitted through ESPN, so there is a lot of moving parts going through here between us and them. So if that's why you're wondering, we apologize. We'll try to keep you up to date as much as possible.
Fanny with the reception. He rumbles to about the 25, and that's where he'll be taken down.
Osmond Fanny with the return.
Another thing with this being broadcast at ESPN, if you hear a bit of crosstalk in the microphones, we do apologize for that. Both us and Frostburg State Radio are here in the same booth. It is very, very cold outside, so we're both in the booth trying to get as warm as we can. But we take a moment and look at the leaders for Frostburg State. Obviously, Brooks, almost 2,000 yards passing coming into this game, and a couple of the other leaders there for the Bobcat offense. As they get a start at the 25, looking to try and answer back for the California score. It's going to be a handoff to Alexander, and he gets he gets about 7 yards.
Gain of about 7 on the play.
And it'll be second and 3.
Courtney Dunn on the stop. Bring up a second
Courtney
down
Dunn
and
on the
3
stop
from the
for
33.
California. It'll be second and 3 from the 33. Just under 2 minutes left in this first quarter. Alexander still the back. Brooks in the gun. 2 receivers split either side. 1 receiver either side, excuse me. As Alexander tries to find the gap, but he gets taken down with a very, very short gain, if not no gain at all. And it'll be third down and 3.
Even though he didn't get any gain that time, Alexander did a great job at least getting back to the line of scrimmage. It looked like he was going to get held up behind the line, but able to just fall forward, get back to the line of scrimmage, preventing losing any yards and giving Frostburg a third manageable here, just trying to continue this drive along.
Third down and 3 for the Bobcats. Brooks hands off to Doyle. Doyle gets stood up and driven backwards. This California defense proving to be stout. Doyle gets maybe a gain of 1.
Yeah, we can take a look at that one again. And this is what the Vulcans need to do. We've seen Doyle be able to bounce off a couple of defenders. And that time, just getting right in there in the mix is number 24, Samuel Hobbs, and just he's the initial one to stick him up, and then the rest of California come in to swarm and stop him about 1.5 yards shy. But there is an injured California Vulcan after the play.
It does look like that is Samuel Hobbs, the one who initially made the stop. Gets a little bit shaken up there, but he is up on his feet.
I mean, he took a big hit, but he looks to be all right as he's swinging his arms around. And he's just a little shaken up, but like I said, Doyle was trying to lower the shoulder, just trying to muscle his way forward, but Hobbs did a great job at standing his ground and just initially just holding up Doyle as long as he could and letting everybody else get in on the action and push him back. And this is where California is dangerous. Williams back to return as Frostburg looked to punt it away. Williams, all PSAC first team in the return department, and we've seen him do it a couple of times in this matchup. The first time he had a kick return for a touchdown. He had a punt return for a touchdown that got called back. So we've seen him do it a number of times this season.
Sam Dominguez will punt it away for the Bobcats, and as you said, Williams, the dangerous returner, back to receive, standing at about his own 30.
And that is
it's going to be the end of the first quarter, so the punt will come after the break. A little bit of a break here, but while we have a second,
at this time, we proudly request that any
we're going to take a look at the Super Region 1 bracket again. Obviously, we are here in Frostburg, in California. The matchup between Kutztown versus Assumption is still going on.
Thank you so much.
You also have to wonder, too, with Frostburg lining up for the punt, 4th and 1, if you wonder that they might potentially make or change their minds and maybe go for it on 4th down here as they are trying to get back into this game. Yes, it's only the end of the first quarter, but there's still things that are happening as the offense is still trying to find the rhythm.
Yeah, we've seen California do we've seen California do a great job at stopping some fake punts. We do have a score update from the other Super Region 1 game, as Kutztown versus Assumption. The Golden Bears leading 14-3 over Assumption with about a minute and 21 left in the first quarter over in Kutztown. So the Golden Bears looking to continue their perfect season right now. I mean, they've
been dominant all season.
They've been dominant all season. They've been dominant the last couple of seasons. They've done a great job over there, and so far leading by 2 scores over Assumption, looking to continue their dominant play and host next week.
So out of the break, it looks like the Bobcats will punt it away. Dominguez back to punt. Williams to receive, standing at about his own 25. A little bit of a high snap, but Dominguez got a little bit tipped there as that one just kind of sails out of bounds at about the 43 or 4 yard line, and California will have excellent field position.
Yeah, that time Taven Willis for California left completely unblocked, and I think it was just left a bit. Dominguez was a bit scared and just had to get that one away quickly as possible. Just sliced it off the outside of his foot, and was not a long punt at all. It went out of bounds at the 43 yard line. So California again with great field position to start this drive, and again now have an opportunity to punch it in, to add some more points onto the board and to continue further this lead.
You can see the California leaders, Purcell obviously with passing, Agnorn rushing, and so on. 1st and 10, Purcell looking to pass, has his man over the middle of the field. That's caught by Spencer. Spencer holding on to the football, but able to keep a hold and brought down at the Frostburg 40, and he'll move the chains for California.
Yeah, great job that time by Spencer, just cutting across the middle of the field and just super quick on his feet and just able to evade the danger. And like you said, just everyone just trying to rip out the football. At that time, number 9, Kamari Ramsey, just trying to rip it out. Great ball security that time, and California now moving within Bobcat territory.
1st and 10 from the 40. Purcell to throw again. That one tipped at the line, picked up by Purcell, able to get his own pass, but he does lose a few yards, but he retains possession for the Vulcans.
Well, that's better than the alternative, which was falling into the arms of the 3 or 4 Bobcat defenders that are right there. As you see the tip coming in right underway. And Purcell, great heads-up play to just tip it right back to himself. Like I say, you're going to lose some yardage on it. Lost 6 on the play, but you'd rather that than have a turnover in that instance.
This was Osmond Fanny with the tip. Purcell looking to fire it. It's caught by Lewis, and Lewis takes a hit but stays on his feet. Gets knocked out of bounds at about the 37. Or 33, excuse me.
That's going to bring up a third down and
Lewis
3
has
from the 33.
done a great job so far in this game. That's his 4th or 5th receptions, and he's continuing to provide a great outlet here for Purcell. He picked up 13 on that play and gives California now a 3rd manageable.
3rd and 3 from the 33 for California. 12:50 and counting here in this first half. Agnor the back. They're going to give to him. Agnor trying the outside, able to find the gap, and it gets the first down and plenty more. Kendrick Agnor going up to the 22-yard line, and he'll move the chains.
And that play is all about the blocking. It was Jake Lehu and DeVay Johnson on the outside just leading the way on that sweep and just setting those blocks out there on the outside, and Amir Spencer as well, just doing enough out there to give Agnor the room to pick up the first down. So great blocking by the receivers and the tight end out there for California to let Agnor pick up the first down.
1st and 10 for the Vulcans. Kenny Lewis in motion. Going to hand off to Craiget. Craiget gets tripped up behind the line of scrimmage, but gets back to the initial line. So no gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Number 20, offense. Let's stop one play.
No gain on the play. That'll bring up
Great
2nd
tackle
and
that
10
time
from
by
the
Carter
22.
Mazalewski, the linebacker, just able to rip through the line immediately and knocks Craiget's helmet off in the process. So that means he's going to have to come out of the game for one play, so Agnor back in.
2nd down and 10. 3 receivers on the near side, 1 to the far. Agnor the back. Hershey in motion. Purcell in the gun, looking to pass. Fires one over the middle. That one's tipped and falls to the ground, but a flag flies.
But hold your cards. We got a flag on the play.
I believe they're going to get, we'll see if they pick up the flag. Bobcats saying it was tipped, which it looked like it was. Refs are conferring. See if they pick up the flag.
There's no foul for pass interference. The ball is tipped.
And they will pick up the flag as the ball was tipped in the air,
Bring up a
which
third
is the
down
right
and
call.
10 from the
Yeah, by
22.
rule, if the ball is tipped, the pass interference is nullified on the back end. So great call by the referees to pick up that flag and to readjust. California now in a 3rd and long situation. That's 2 passes now in this drive that have been tipped at the line of scrimmage. So the defensive line for Frostburg, they've done an excellent job. But once they know that they're not able to get to Purcell, they're immediately getting their hands up and getting in his line of sight.
3rd down and 10 for California. Purcell under a little bit of pressure. Gets met immediately and dropped behind the line.
Back behind the line of scrimmage.
He'll get dropped at the 27. Tension's a little bit high.
Fire the ball come loose.
Nick Presson on the stop.
Nick Presson immediately back there, and it looked to be,
Loss of 5 on the play.
I don't know if it was a design run or something like that, but it looked immediately like Purcell was looking to run, but just nowhere to go, and Presson immediately just able to get off of his block, and California a bit far out to kick in after that missed field goal, not really looking to take any chances with Radcliffe looking to go for it here on 4th and long.
4th and 15, 2 receivers either side. Agnor the back, as you said, a little bit too far to kick, but too short to punt. Purcell heaves one, and incomplete, intended for Johnson. And the Bobcats will force the turnover on downs and get the ball with decent field position with 10:30 left in the second half. Or the first half, excuse me.
Just textbook coverage that time by the secondary of the Bobcats. As we can take a look at their schedule up to this point, only 2 losses on the season, a freak overtime or double overtime loss to Glenville on the 11th, and the loss here to California on the 1st of November. But they're winners of 3 straight. Their last home game against West Virginia State, they won against Fairmont State on the final regular season game And then that victory in the first round of the Super Region 1 playoffs against Johnson C. Smith.
So after the turnover on downs, it's 1st and 10 Bobcats from the 27. Brooks is going to hand off to Smothers, who takes it up, gets maybe 2 yards.
Smothers the ball carrier.
And he'll be brought down after a short gain of 2, 2nd down and 8 from the 29.
Gain of 2 yards.
I will say in the previous matchup against Frostburg and then last week against Virginia Union, both teams really like to run the ball, very efficient, very dominant on the ground. And both teams got off to great starts running the ball, but as the game waned on, California was very stout defensively at really holding the rushing game. So California has started off really well at not allowing a ton of yardage on the ground.
2nd down and 8, Brooks to pass. It's caught by Gilliard, and Gilliard breaks a couple of tackles. Gets enough for the 1st down. That was a nice catch and run by Gilliard.
You take a look at that replay. Gilliard just left open here in the flat, and Amori Thompson coming over, just trying to hold him up enough and let the defenders come in. And nice hit stick that time by Gilliard, just running him over as he's forced out of bounds by Charney and the crew.
1st and 10 Bobcats from the 39. About 9.5 left in this first half. Brooks in the pistol. Man in motion. They're going to hand off to Smothers. Smothers gets stopped after another gain of 2. It'll be 2nd and 8 again, but this time from the 41.
Great tackle that time by Tawan Bandy, just coming from the opposite side. Him and Trey Green able to converge on Smothers and able to force another short gain. And when you're able to limit the 1st down rushing attack, it kind of forces you into these 2nd down passing situations, and California so far has done a great job of covering them.
2nd down and 8. Brooks to pass. Finds Gilliard again in the flat. Runs past Thompson and plenty more. Gilliard works his way down the sideline and out at about the 44-yard line.
And as I say it, again, they go for a pass on 2nd down, and again, Gilliard is left open in the flat and goes one-on-one with Thompson. Thompson just flat-footed, just a back step into the middle of the field, and he just blows right by him, and now the Bobcats moving within California territory.
Just over 8 minutes left here in this 2nd quarter. Brooks looks to throw over the middle, has his man, and it's caught down at the 20-yard line. Amir Coles, the tight end, with the grab and the 1st down for the Bobcats.
Coles had a big game the last time these two teams played, and that time just left one-on-one with Taven Willis, and Coles just a big body tight end, and just got, and that time Willis just caught bitten down a little bit, and Coles just goes right by him down the seam and picks up a big chunk of yardage. And now within the California red zone are the Bobcats just continuing to drive along here.
1st and 10 from the 19. Bobcats looking to put up some points after forcing a turnover on downs. The timeout's called by Frostburg State as the play clock was winding.
Timeout. Frostburg. This is their first charge of the half.
And gain an inside look and behind-the-scenes access to your favorite.
We're going to take a look at the Super Region 2 bracket. Albany State and Benedict are playing, and West Florida and Newberry are the round 2 games for Super Region 2. And I believe you have some scores.
Yeah, those games have not. Albany State versus Benedict kicks off at 1 o'clock, so in about 15 minutes or so that game will start. Newberry versus West Florida, that game kicks off at 2. And the other 1 o'clock matchup is Ashland versus Ferris State, and then the other 2 o'clock matchup is Minnesota State versus UIndy. And then the final bracket games, Pittsburgh State versus Harding at 2 o'clock, then UT Permian Basin at 3 versus Western Colorado. That game is also at 3 o'clock. So The only two games at the moment are California, Frostburg, Assumption at Kutztown. Another score update, Kutztown now leads 21-3 over Assumption. So if that score continues to remain the way it is, the winner of today's matchup will travel out east to face off against Kutztown next week in the finale.
Kutztown, as we've said before, having just a dominant season, and even last season they were crazy good. So looking to continue that run of excellence into the next couple of seasons. But Brooks looking, rolling, surveying, under a bit of pressure, just has to dump it off, and pass is caught and rumbling down to about the 7-yard line is Max Heineman, the tight end. And it's going to be first and goal, Bobcats.
Yeah, great movement that time to just evade the California linebacker number 44, Shane Roberts. Just a little stutter step just to get away from him and dump it off into the flat. And again, it's not, we've seen these deep shots, but it's really just these shots into the flat and letting the receivers do the rest of the work here for Frostburg. And it's been effective. They've been able to march down the field and now on the precipice of getting into the end zone.
First and goal from the 8. Brooks hands off to Doyle. Doyle trying the right side. Doyle working his way down to about the 5-yard line. It'll be second and goal from the 5.
8 of 3 on the play. Second and goal from
Doyle.
It's hard with taking him down with just one. You need to send at least 2 or 3 to take down Doyle. He's able to break off one tackle. It's not until you send multiple bodies to him before you're finally able to get him down or shove him out of bounds.
Second and 5 from the 5. 5:50 and counting here in this second half. Play clock winding. I said second half, first half again. Handoff to Doyle. Doyle trying that right side again. Doyle lunging for the pylon, but just out of bounds. About 2 yards short of the end zone, and it'll be third and goal from the 2.
That's back-to-back stops from Charney, where he was able to just get there on the edge and just force Doyle out of bounds. And that time, just a bit too close for California's liking. As, like you said, it looked like Doyle was about to lay out for it, but Charney did just enough just to get there in time and force him out of bounds.
Third and goal from the 2. Bobcats looking to punch it in and respond. And a little bit of pre-snap motion, as it's going to be a false start on the Bobcats, and that'll push them back to the 7. And it'll be a much different play call now for the Bobcats, with it being 3rd and 7.
Yeah, that was against the right tackle, Pierre Amang, number 72. There was some movement on that right side, and just a bit unfortunate, and like you said, because we've seen how efficient this running game is, and now you got to push back to the 7th, and now you're in a third and long, a passing situation here. California can now shore up in the secondary.
Third and goal from the 7. Brooks to pass. Looking, fires one. Wide open, is caught for the touchdown. Cruz Paul Umstead. There is a flag down, and it's going to be on the defense.
Holding. Number 10.
We're going to get a Maury Thompson on the defensive hold, but the penalty's declined, and the touchdown is good.
Yeah, we can take a look at the replay once again. And Paul Umstead, he's had himself a fantastic first half. We've seen him get involved a couple of times, and he was up against Samuel Hobbs. And when you have a linebacker trying to guard a quick wide receiver like that, it's going to be difficult. He's just left wide open, as the extra point attempt is good. And we're all tied up here at Adamson Stadium, 7-0, 4:43 remaining here in the first half. It's anyone's game.
That is for sure. Again, look at the replay or the touchdown replay for Paul Umstead. Just kind of left wide open, as you said, working against the linebacker. When you put a linebacker against a receiver, it's usually not a good time.
Yeah, it's less than ideal. You usually want them working up against either one of the running backs or the tight ends, but that time gets worked onto the wide receiver, and usually they're way quicker than the linebackers, and that time they will just slip behind them and then slip out into this near corner, and like you said, just left wide open for the touchdown. But we can take a look at this California schedule for this season. They started off 4-0 with some impressive ranked wins against Charleston and Slippery Rock before losing 3 out of 4 against some lower level competition to their standards, to Seton Hill and Edinburgh, and then a loss to IUP there along the way. But California, they've started to pick the season back up at the back half of the year. They've won the winners of 4 straight games, and we talked about it with Coach Dunn on the Gary Dunn show. The strength of schedule has really propelled California into the playoffs. I mean, they've played against the toughest competition they possibly could, especially in the non-conference matchups, which is the reason they've gotten themselves here.
Brandon Keene kicks it away, and fair catch called for and made. I believe that was Trey Green who made the fair catch at about the 30. And that's where California will take over. 4:43 remaining in the first half. Looking to answer back. But a great textbook drive by the Bobcats after the turnover on downs, answering back to California's early points. And now we have a tie game on our hands.
Yeah, beautiful drive by Frostburg on all fronts, utilizing both the rushing attack and the passing attack to its fullest effect, able to march their way down the field, burn a ton of time off the clock, and really get California worrying, because now California needs to respond.
1st and 10 from the 30, play clock winding down. Able to get the play off, handoff to Agnor, and he'll get about 2, maybe 3 yards. Bring up a 2nd and long for California.
Alan Boyd on the stop.
We always say every drive is important, but this one could be a big one for California, as they do receive the kickoff to start the second half. So if they're able to put up some points at the end of this drive, take some time off the clock, and then get the ball back to start the second half, and then put points off in that drive, can really swing the momentum in their favor.
2nd down and 7 from the 33. Hershey in motion. Purcell looking to pass. Throws one deep down the field. Has Lewis, just a touch too far for Lewis. Had a step on his defender, but just out of the reach of his hands.
From the 33.
That was in stride. Lewis probably would have had a touchdown.
Yeah, just a step or two away from hauling that one in. Kenny Lewis had his man beat, but just a tad overthrown that time by Purcell, and just a missed opportunity once again by this California offense. Just a bit unfortunate that time by Purcell, just a bit overthrown, and leaves California in this 3rd and medium situation.
3rd and 7. Bobcats show blitz. They bring it. Purcell. That one in and out of the hands of Keandre DeShields, and that'll bring up 4th and 7, and the punting unit will come out for California.
I think that is exactly what you didn't want to happen if you're California, because not only did you go through, now you didn't really take any time off the clock, so you're going to punt this away to Frostburg, give them just under 4 minutes with the football. They have 2 timeouts. They have the 2-minute timeout available to them as well, so they have plenty of time to put a decent drive together. And after how their last drive just went, they have a chance to take the lead going into halftime here.
Gonzalez to punt it away for California. Can't tell exactly who that is back there for the Bobcats to receive. Takes a nice roll and picked up by Charney.
Will be down at the 17-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 Bobcats.
Looks like that was Landon Alexander back to receive, but lands just short. Takes a nice California roll. It'll be 1st and 10. Bobcats from their own 17. So a good bit to go. 3:41 remaining in the first half. But as you said, we just saw a very pretty drive from the Bobcats, and I'm sure they'll do it again.
Yeah, Brooks looked pretty sharp there. He, throwing the football, like I said, it's really hard to get back into when you're not in at quarterback for a couple of weeks, but especially when you're thrown back in the pressure situations in the playoffs. But he's done a great job in this game. The rushing attack looked great on that last drive, so Frostburg looking to recreate that magic.
Brooks gets it in the flat. Broken one tackle is Gilliam, but not escaping Trey Green. Whistle blown, his progress marked to stop.
Trey Green on the stop.
He'll get about
No gain on the play.
no gain. It'll be second and 10 from the 17.
Yeah, that time Gilliard able to break off one tackle, but Green able to just wrap him up and hold him back. Some great tracking that time by the linebacker Trey Green.
So second and 10 for the Bobcats. 3 receivers split to the far side. Now man in motion. Brooks in the gun. Low snap, but handoff to Smothers, and he'll get a couple yards before being stopped at about the 20-yard line, and it'll bring up 3rd down and 7. With the clock rolling, they'll have to get about a play off before the 2-minute timeout. So
that'll bring up a 3rd down and 7 from the 20.
they'll have to try and do something with this 3rd down.
Yeah, another 3rd down situation here for Frostburg, and one where in that last possession they were very efficient. They were able to convert on a couple of 3rd downs to keep their drive alive and able to march on down and get into the end zone. So a chance for California to either rectify that or for Frostburg to continue converting these 3rd down situations.
Brooks looking to pass, fires one over the middle. That pass is caught, but met instantly is Cruz Paul Umstead, excuse me. But he has the 1st down for the Bobcats.
Now, Paul Umstead that time just left alone in zone coverage. That time able to find the soft spot in between the defenders, and you see it just able to get past Sangster Jr. before being met. So great little cushion that time by Paul Umstead, able to just find that little net in between the zone spots, picking up the 1st down just right past the sticks and leading us into this 2-minute timeout.
2-minute timeout, we're going to take a look at some replays. The one you can see here is the initial fumble by the Bobcats. With you said California getting the second half, if you tuned in just after the kickoff, you would think that the Bobcats actually received the second half kickoff. There's also the other fumble here by Brooks as Vesa is able to get around, and it's scooped up by Spell. And then the little bit of trickery California pulled for their first touchdown of the game after the handoff to Craigette. Judging by the formation, you wouldn't really expect it to be a handoff to Craigette, but regardless. And we'll take a look at the response by Frostburg as Paul Umstead is able to slip behind the defense, working against the linebacker, and get his touchdown of the game. With that sequence of events, we're all tied up at 7 with 2 minutes left in the first half.
Yeah, I think if you're California, you're going to be a bit vexed that you didn't get any points after forcing that initial turnover off of that kickoff.
1st and 10, Brooks looking to pass, kind of just has to get rid of it, but caught right at the line to gain is Gilliard, forced out of bounds by Amori Thompson. But Gilliard had enough to get the line to gain.
That's a tough throw to make too, off the back foot to the far side of the field. Just throwing it up there. Great throw that time by Brooks, and Gilliard able to haul that one in both feet as Thompson was able to rip him down.
So 1st and 10 from the 43 for the Bobcats. They're going to try and put a drive together, get some points up on the board. Brooks in the gun. Looking to pass. Fires one, looking for Umstead. Incomplete, and no flags. Khalil Taylor and Charney in coverage. they've realized they need to double team Umstead.
Yeah, they're finally going for that deep shot. We've seen a lot of this intermediate and underneath stuff. They're finally going for the kill, and that time Charney with some support behind, but one-on-one for a moment with Khalil Taylor, but that was some excellent coverage by Khalil Taylor, able to, with some hand fighting, just able to stay within the lines without drawing the penalty and able to swat it away at the last moment. Great coverage that time by Khalil Taylor of California.
Brooks in the pistol, hands off to Doyle. Doyle able to break a couple of tackles. Doyle stiff arms a man. Doyle able to initially stay on his feet, but brought down after a short gain by Khalil Taylor.
46-yard line.
I mean, he's explosive to watch. I mean, he's fascinating. It's just every time he gets the ball, you're just excited to see what he's going to do. That time breaks off of one tackle, stiff arms another person, but great tackle. Khalil Taylor just wraps around his leg to finally bring him down.
3rd down and 7 from the 46. Brooks looks to pass under a bit of pressure. Vesa coming off the edge, and that one able to get it away, but incomplete, and Cedric Vesa came flying off the edge, forcing the pressure.
And that's where we've seen Brooks get into a bit of trouble, is when we've seen him under pressure, and that's the second time we've seen Vesa get to him, and that time Brooks was able to get it away. And it has given California a bit of time to play with here. 1 minute and 7 seconds left, 2 timeouts. They have a chance to move the ball down the field here.
You got to wonder after this, or after their first meeting, if their game plan for punts or kickoffs is keep it away from Williams as much as they can. Dominguez gets it away, and a nice little bit of a roller there. And it takes a nice bobcat roll down inside the 10. And that's where California will start. Looked like a little bit of contact with the punter, Dominguez, but no flag was thrown.
Yeah, I think California catches a bit of a break there. I wasn't quite able to tell if a Vulcan ran into Dominguez, the kicker, or if one of the players got pushed. But nonetheless, there was contact, as we can take a look again at the Super Region 3 bracket. Ferris State versus Ashland and Minnesota State versus UIndy. Again, those games kicking off here very soon. Ferris State Ashland kicking off at 1 o'clock. Minnesota State versus UIndy kicking off at 2 p.m. So the Ashland versus Ferris State game kicking off right about now. And then in about an hour or so, UIndy versus Minnesota State will kick off. But California have 55 seconds and 2 timeouts to work with, but they got to drive 93 yards if they want to get into the end zone here.
Hershey in motion. Now back across the line. Handoff to Agnor. Agnor trying the left side. Right side, excuse me. Agnor able to stay on his feet. Agnor breaks a couple of tackles. Agnor has an open lane. Agnor with a couple men to beat. Can he hold on? Brought down at about the 35-yard line. Kendrick Agnor with the big explosive run.
Excellent move that time by Agnor, staying on his feet, spinning away from the danger, but California getting quickly to the line.
Purcell looking to pass, going for it all deep down the field. It's caught by Johnson for the touchdown. 2 plays, 93 yards. California strikes back.
Man, I was getting worried. I was like, they only have 55 seconds and 2 timeouts. They got to go 93 yards to get in the end zone. They only needed 2 plays. A big run by Agnor sets it up. Great find, great throw here by Purcell. Johnson left one-on-one, and when you have a receiver like him, as big as him, you just got to throw it up to him over top of the cornerback, Josh McTeer. And California take the lead with 30 seconds left to go here in the half.
Looks like both teams going to convert. It's okay.
And looks like there's an injured player down on the far side of the field. I'm not quite sure who it is, but there is an injured player down outside of the field of play. But we'll give both teams a chance to kind of calm things down. But again, taking a look at this replay once again, Purcell with a clean pocket has time to throw. And again, when you leave Johnson one-on-one, he can do stuff like that, just going over the top McTeer, who looks to be the injured player, the cornerback there for Frostburg, left down on the ground. Looks like now he's back to his feet and getting help. Walked over to the bench by the trainers, so hopefully he's all right and is able to return back into this game as one of the star cornerbacks here for this Bobcat team. It'd be a huge blow for Frostburg if he's unable to return, but hopefully he receives some treatment during halftime. He's able to make his way back on. But Radcliffe on to attempt the extra point to give California the 7-point lead.
Radcliffe to make it a 7-point lead. The kick is up, and it is good. 14-7. The Vulcans lead after a 2-play, 93-yard drive. We take a look at the run again by Kendrick Agnor, able to break a couple of tackles, and he was off to the races. Able to hold on to the football and keep a hold of it. So we're going to take a look at the replay again. The pass to Johnson for the touchdown.
I think that spin from Agnor really slowed him down. I think if he didn't have to spin away, I think he was definitely gone. But nonetheless, it gives California a huge momentum shift going into this break. As like we said, they get the kickoff to start the second half, so the offensive momentum riding high. They get the ball back to start the second half. They can swing if they're able to score on that opening possession to begin the second half. They can make it a 2-score game, and they can really begin to dominate and take control of this game. Another score update, Kutztown now leading 28-3 over Assumption, as that game is now heading into halftime as well. So Kutztown, a commanding lead over Assumption, who California also familiar with. But
a little bit of a squib kick there by Boland. Picked up a little bit of some contact there. And brought to about the 29, which is where they'll mark the forward progress stopped. Was the returner, Osman Fanny, the defensive back for Frostburg. And we saw on the camera there for a moment a very small part of the Vulcan band, obviously with it being the Thanksgiving holiday. Still, some people have come out to support the Vulcans, some of the Vulcan band, cheerleaders, dance team. Obviously, I myself drove out 3 hours this morning to come out here for some Vulcan football. But everyone here, even the crew at CUTV, we're thankful for all of them coming out here to bring everyone watching this game. But 23 seconds, they're going to hand off to Smothers. And Smothers gets a couple of yards, brought down at about the 35-yard line. And I believe that's going to end the first half.
yeah, 5 seconds left, just trying to wind it down. But a back and forth first half again with only a 7-point lead. We're really within the realm of anything happening, and like we've mentioned a couple of times this season, I really hope you don't have anything going on for the next couple of hours, because we have a game on our hands here at Adamson Stadium.
We do indeed have a game on our hands here. 14-7 the score at halftime. California leads Frostburg State. We're going to take a quick break. You're watching Division II playoff football right here on ESPN+.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Adamson Stadium as we get ready to kick off the second half of this Super Region 1 matchup between California and Frostburg. The Vulcans lead 14-7 over the Bobcats after one half of play. John Sape and Hunter Garman taking you through the action. And it was an interesting first half nonetheless. California coming out on top, but not after some heroics at the end of the first half from Kendrick Aganor. But we can take a look at some replays as we go over some stats from that first half. Rowan Purcell for the Vulcans, 9 for 16, 99 yards, and that touchdown pass, the 34-yard pass to Johnson to kick off or to end that two-play 93-yard final drive for California. Kendrick Aganor, 9 rushes for 96 yards. Kenny Lewis, the fourth for the Vulcans, 4 receptions for 48 yards. Johnson, 2 catches for 39 yards and the touchdown. And then on the other side for Frostburg, Jordan Brooks, 9 for 11, 100 yards and a touchdown. Owen Doyle, 33 rushes, 7 rushes for 33 yards. KJ Smothers, 5 rushes for 16 yards. Javon Gilliard, 4 receptions for 35 yards. Cruz Paul Umstead, 3 receptions for 29 yards and a touchdown. But it's been that type of football game where it's been a bit back and forth all the way. And this California offense has not really been able to get it going until those last 2 plays, but that's all you really need, and California leads 14-7.
One spark is really all you need, and at the end of that half, California found that spark. And I mean, we said before that, like, you had even said at the end of the first half that, there were 55 seconds left, and you were even wondering if California was going to do something with it, and they probably heard that and proved you wrong, as the big run by Agnor and then the absolute beautiful pass from Purcell to Johnson for the score to put them up 14-7. But overall, it was a good first half. We saw a couple defensive plays from both sides. We saw turnovers. We've seen special teams play. We've seen it all in the first half of this game.
I will say I love being proved wrong. That's the first thing. Second thing, I do want to give a quick shout out to CUTV's very own former alumni, Mr. Danny Beck, watching in the warm weather of Tampa Bay. So hopefully it's very nice down there. Not here, but down there in Tampa.
Also, shout out Caitlin, I believe, in Bristol at ESPN for
getting us on the air.
Getting us on the air.
And it's California getting the second half kickoff and getting us underway. Fielded by Williams at the 15-yard line, or Johnson receiving this opening kick and being spun down at the 40. So some excellent field position to begin this opening second half drive for California. And some other stats from the first half. Total yardage, 30 plays in that first half for the Vulcans for 191 yards on offense, 26 plays for 157 yards for Frostburg, 15 minutes and 31 seconds of time of possession for Frostburg, 14:29 for California. The Vulcans 2 of 7 on third down, 1 of 2 on fourth down. The Bobcats 3 of 5 on third down. Penalties pretty light, 3 for Frostburg, 1 for California in that first half. First and 10 from the 41. Purcell looking to throw play action, has some time. Looking to the near side, pass falls incomplete, diving out, falling in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, Tyler Long. Just couldn't quite get his arms underneath of it, right around the sticks. Brings up 2nd and 10 for the Vulcans.
It looked like Purcell was trying to get it farther down to Tyler Long, as Long was like he was just running a go route, but he did curl back and it was just a little bit too short from Purcell. As you said, Long had to dive out for it. Unfortunately, unable to haul it in, forces the incompletion and the 2nd and long for this Vulcan offense.
Purcell in the gun, 3 receivers set. Aganor switching sides now to Purcell's left. Hands it off to Aganor, looking for a lane to run. Spinning off the tackle, and Aganor still moving and being brought down right at midfield. Nice run that time by Kendrick Aganor, about a yard shy of first down. Brings up 3rd and 1 here for California.
That was the same kind of sequence at the start of his run where he cracked off about 63 yards. And it was looking like he was trying to do it again, but the Bobcats doing a good job this time being able to bring him down. That was number 5, Carter Mazalewski, the linebacker, in on the stop.
Yeah, we see when you don't bring him down what can happen. And that time, Mazalewski able to do so. 3rd and 1 from midfield Johnson under center this time off the motion, and a muffed fumble. And Frostburg get on top of it as Johnson not ready for the snap. And Kamari Ramsey comes out with it. And a complete miscue off the opening possession for California. And we saw this in the first half, Johnson getting under center. And him and Logan Greer not on the same page as he completely misplays the snap, and Logan Ramsey hops on top, and Frostburg get a turnover going in their possession, or going in their favor, and they get the ball inside of California territory, 1st and 10.
It was just great awareness by Ramsey to notice the ball was out and pick it up.
Brooks looking to throw on 1st down, has a man in stride, pass is caught. One play, one score, touchdown. Ray Adames hauls it in. And as easy as you like, awaiting the extra point, Frostburg can tie it up within an instant.
Adames just had his man beat, had a step on him, and Brooks puts it right where it needs to go, right in the breadbasket. And Adames goes practically untouched all the way in for the score.
Excellent throw and catch by Brooks to Adames. The kick is good that time from Tyler Cook. And we're all tied here at 14, 13:56 remaining here in the third quarter. We can take a look at that turnover by California. Johnson getting under center to take that snap. And Greer just went a little too early that time for Johnson. Kamari Ramsey hops on top of it. And a bit of play action as Brooks goes deep and finally hits on that deep shot. And Ray Adames hauls it in for the score, beating Amori Thompson once again and able to get into the end zone that time for Frostburg. And we have some more score updates around the Division II playoffs. Kutztown leading Assumption 28-6, 12:34 remaining there in the third quarter. Ashland and Ferris State nearly about to be tied up at 14 apiece. And Albany leading Benedict 7-0. The 4 games going on right now. All of them being very close except for that Kutztown Assumption game. And again, a lot can happen in a matter of seconds as Frostburg respond almost immediately.
They said you could do it in 2 plays. Well, guess what? We'll do it in 1.
Brandon Keene to kick off here for the Bobcats. California actually moving up, but Trey Green signaling for the fair catch, and he'll hold on to it. Fair catch signaled at the 35. So California will set up shop there. And a flag thrown very late in the sequence, right around the Frostburg side of the field. So waiting to see that call as it is Kamari Ramsey who's now hobbling after the play. So waiting to see what the official call is, but a late flag thrown right around that Frostburg side of the field. The referees getting together, now getting the official call.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Number 91, returns in. 15-yard penalty, first down.
An unnecessary roughness penalty against California, so that'll push them back.
They're going to get Dominic Buffano on that call there. Couldn't exactly see what happened, but it's like there was a little extra pushing and shoving at the end. And on the kickoff, that's the second time that we've seen the Bobcats kind of just toe punch it, keeping it away from the returners of Johnson and Williams. And you think that can only be part of the reason from the last meeting these two teams have had, where special teams had a huge impact in that game in their last meeting.
So instead of the 35, California takes over at the 20. Brissell in the gun. Lewis in motion, receives the little toss, and Lewis has the lane to run on the outside. Lewis turning on the Jets, has a man to beat before getting shoved out of bounds at the 46. A gain of 26 on the first down jet sweep by Kenny Lewis.
I mean, he had plenty of green grass in front of him, and Lewis has the speed, is one of the speedy receivers for this Vulcan team, and he had plenty of space. He was looking to try and get past his one man to beat, number 21, Marquise Alsop, but he was able to push him out of bounds and save a potential touchdown.
1st and 10 from the 46. Play action. Purcell looking to throw in and out of the hands of Lewis, but another late flag thrown afterwards.
There is a flag on the play.
Lewis couldn't quite hang on to it. Flag thrown at the Vulcan 45-yard line. And I talked at the top of the half about how it was a fairly clean first half in terms of penalties.
Number 21, defense, 15-yard penalty. Automatic, first down.
They're going to get Marquise Alsop for an illegal chop block, and that'll give California a lucky break as it moves the chains and the ball quite far.
Not something you see too often in the game now, but that'll move the Vulcans up well within Frostburg territory. 1st and 10 now from the Frostburg 39-yard line. Another defensive penalty going against the Bobcats. 1st and 10 from the 39. Johnson getting motioned out a little bit wider. Agenor on the handoff. Has a bit of room, bouncing off of one tackle, being brought down by another. Brought down about half a yard shy of the sticks, right at the 30-yard line.
Gain of 9 on the play.
Again, Agenor with some pretty good running and some good vision to find the gaps in the defense.
And then another flag, 2 flags, 3 flags thrown on the field.
False start, number 69, offense.
False start against Solomon Ortiz as Vulcans were trying to quickly get back to the line. So that'll move them back 5 yards. It's been a bit of a nervy start to the half here from either side. That's the 4th penalty to begin this half.
It's been an interesting start to this second half, I will say.
So now 2nd down and 6. Ball at the 35-yard line. Lehu in motion. Agenor switching sides. Purcell in the gun. Hands it off to Agenor. Gets flipped over. Brought down for a loss. Number 98, Dom Tiaga in the backfield. Bringing down Agenor for a loss of 3. So it was originally a 2nd down and 1, has now turned into a 3rd down and 9 here for California.
And Tiaga just came through that Vulcan offensive front, pretty much just muscles his way through, able to get to Agenor, forcing the long 3rd down, and the crowd for Frostburg is now getting into it.
Lehu in motion, 3rd 9 from the 38. Purcell looking to throw, under pressure, has Lewis, drops it in and out of the hands. Lewis had a ton of space ahead of him, had the green grass, but couldn't see it into his hands. And now has his helmet and his face in the palm of his hands. Kenny Lewis just drops it right in front of him. And now California bringing on the punting unit. Andrew Gonzalez coming on for the Vulcans to punt this one away.
That was just one of those that Lewis tried to make the play and make the run before he even secured the football, and it led to a drop. He practically had a touchdown if he was able to secure that football. Just tough break for California.
Gonzalez punts it away, fielded inside the 5, and being brought down immediately is Landon Alexander inside of the 10 at the 9-yard line. Khalil Taylor in on the tackle. And another flag thrown.
There is a flag on the play.
More than likely going against Frostburg. The referees getting together at about the 27-yard line. And again, 4 flags in that entire first half. We're up to about 4 or 5 now, and we're not even 4 minutes into this second half.
I was going to say, we're definitely,
Number 19.
we definitely have a couple.
That penalty going high. Then we participation. Number 19. Defense. That penalty enforced first. Half this is a goal. First down.
So 2 flags against Frostburg. A holding call, which was declined. And I believe, I couldn't quite hear the second one. Was it an
I think it
illegal
was a legal participant, yeah.
Which will move them half the distance to the goal. So Frostburg now getting the ball 1st and 10 from the 5.
And on the initial kickoff, it was great hustle by Khalil Taylor to make that shoestring tackle, some would say, tripping up Alexander to keep him to a limited gain. And because of the penalties, it gives the California defense excellent field position, but not so great if you're Frostburg.
So not a lot of breathing room here for the Bobcats to work with. 1st and 10 from inside of their own 5. Now the ball placed, looks like at the 2 or the 3 yard line. Ball at the 3.
1st and 10 from the 2.
So Brooks in the gun. Owen Doyle the back alongside him. We saw California move 97 yards early on, and a whistle blown already as the referee's now having further discussion. Coach Dunn having a word with the near side official.
They may be talking about potentially where the ball is placed. Looks like they're keeping their original position on where it's placed, and we'll go from there.
But after the discussion, nothing has changed. 1st and 10 from the 3. 11:55 remaining here in the 3rd quarter. Brooks in the gun. Hands off to Doyle, just trying to find some room. Gets a decent push. He gains about 1 or 2 on the first down run. Brought down by Vesa.
Any breathing room that Doyle or Smothers or the other running backs can give them, the better. As California, in this short field for the offense, they do like to bring the house, provide that pressure, and try and force a turnover, or at least just make the quarterback much more uncomfortable than they may or may not already be. We'll have to see if that applies here in these short fields.
Brooks looking to throw on 2nd down. Pass to the flat, caught by Gilliard, able to make a move up the field and picks up the first down and some. Brought down at the 17-yard line.
Take a look at that replay again. Gilliard hasn't had much involvement, but in the passes that he's caught, he's made his defenders look silly trying to make a play on him, able to use his quick feet and get shifty with it and gain a couple extra yards on every catch.
I mean, that's his 5th catch, but none of them have been more than 5 yards down the field. He's done all of the work afterwards. 1st and 10 now from the 18-yard line. Much needed breathing room here for the Bobcats. Handoff this time to Doyle, but nowhere to go. Brought down right at the line of scrimmage. Brought down immediately that time by Keon Powell. 2nd and 10 here for California and Frostburg. 10:25 remaining here in the 3rd quarter. Brooks in the gun. Doyle the lone back. 3 receivers all to the near side. One motioning now to the far. That is Adamas. Brooks looking to throw, stepping up under pressure, finds Doyle in the flat. Can't break away from the tackle. Khalil Taylor able to bring him down. A gain of about 4. 3rd and medium now here for Frostburg.
It was a great job by Brooks just to go through his options, still sensing that the pressure is closing in on him, able to just dump it off to Doyle. And a great hustle by Khalil Taylor to tackle Doyle in the open field. We've seen a couple times that he's made his defenders look silly trying to tackle him, but just great hustle and determination by Taylor to bring him down because he had plenty of green grass in front of him if he would have broke free.
So 3rd down and 6 from the 22. 28 the line to gain, 9:15 remaining. Brooks looking to throw. Brooks stepping up, keeping it himself. Brooks has the green, sliding down and hitting into the referee. As he slid, he's right around that 1st down marker. And it looks like they're going to give it to him. 1st down on that slide from Jordan Brooks.
You may have noticed the referee there in the middle of the field. That's the umpire. Most of the time you see them back behind the offense, but with this officiating crew, they like to keep the umpire in the middle behind the linebackers, so just something to note there.
The umpire just leveling Brooks that time. You don't really see that too often, but 1st and 10 now from the 28. Play action, Brooks looking to throw. Pass caught on the far side. Gilliard spinning to the outside, brought down
Gilliard with the reception.
at the 36-yard line, a gain of 8. 2nd down and 2 here for Frostburg.
Again, that matchup of Gilliard against Amori Thompson, they're going to see if they keep looking to exploit that, but we could see Gilliard looks a little shaken up there on that play as he heads to the sideline to be looked at for Frostburg. You hope that he's okay.
Yeah, a bit of a limp. Be a huge blow. That's his 7th reception. A low snap and a fumble and a flag thrown. I don't think anybody was ready as everyone was still getting set, and a false start will be called against Frostburg. And they catch a huge break as the receivers were still getting set, and the center just snapped the ball as everybody was motioning out. And Tanner Herman, the center for Frostburg, can count his lucky stars as that one will stay, the possession will stay in favor of Frostburg, as that could have gone a whole mess of ways, but Frostburg still in possession now, 2nd down and 7 from the 31. Play action, Brooks looking to throw, looking for the deep shot once again. Khalil Taylor able to break it up this time, but a late flag thrown on the back end, intended for Cruz Paul Umstead. Very similar to the previous, we saw Khalil Taylor get penalized on this before, on this post shot. And that contact came in just a little before the ball got there.
There was contact. I don't necessarily know if I agree with it too much, as Khalil Taylor was turned around. Both were kind of fighting for the ball. We could see on the replay there was incidental contact right before the ball got there, which I believe is what they're throwing the flag for, but that one really could go either way. And unfortunately for California, it falls in the way of Frostburg's favor, and they get a fresh set of downs close to midfield.
So another penalty. This time moves Frostburg up to their own 46-yard line, 1st and 10. Brooks in the pistol. Doyle, the back behind him, hands it off to him. Doyle trying to bounce it to the outside, left nowhere, shoved all the way back. Taylor able to make up for it. It was Thomas on the initial hit, but Taylor able to shove him back. A loss of about 2.
It was a great job by Thomas. Had a hand in his face mask, but able to just hold on to Doyle and basically allow for Khalil Taylor and the crew to meet up and tackle Doyle for a loss. And for California, that is a huge stop on 1st down, forcing a nice long 2nd and 13.
Like we talked about before, you need a couple of players to bring down Doyle, but great job that time by Thomas to stick him up immediately. 2nd and 13, low snap, Doyle, or Brooks looking to throw, pass caught right at Coles on the reception. We brought down after a gain of about 2. Just shy of the initial line of scrimmage. Will be 3rd down and 11 from the Frostburg 45-yard line.
This is a huge third down for California. If they can force the turnover and make Frostburg punt it away, they can get out of this drive counting their lucky stars to see if they can hold out here on 3rd and 10.
3rd and 11 from the 45, just under 6 to go here in the third quarter. Brooks looking to throw. Has a man over the middle of the field, pass is caught. Spinning to the outside, Adames inside of California territory and brought down at the 34-yard line. And another third down conversion from the Bobcats. Ray Adames moving the chains once again here for this Frostburg offense.
And that was just a nice move by Adames after the catch, making Thompson try and go out wide to tackle him, just able to cut it inside and get a couple extra yards, and able to just wrestle his way, working against Sangster, I believe that was, and able to just work his way down, giving Frostburg some excellent position to try and put up more points.
The offense continues to roll. 1st and 10 from the Vulcan 34. Handoff this time, or play action. Another deep shot, but this one a little off the mark.
Pass is incomplete.
Intended for Adames, again guarded that time by Marvell Cromartie.
2nd down and 10 from the 39.
That pass falls incomplete. 2nd down and 10 from the Vulcan 34.
Looked like Adames and Brooks weren't on the same page there, as Adames was looking to try and run to the sideline and Brooks thought he was going deep. So just a miscommunication on both sides there.
7 on the play clock here for Frostburg. Handoff to Smothers, has a hole. Smothers rips it upfield into the second level, and more than enough for the first down. A gain of 14 for KJ Smothers, and this drive continues to move along here for the Bobcats. Another first down.
We talk about Doyle all the time, but they still have KJ Smothers in their back pocket, who's still just as physical and shifty as Doyle, that time able to find the gap created by the O-line and just, as you said, take it upfield into the second level and continuing to keep this drive alive and move the sticks.
4:25 remaining here in the third quarter. Frostburg, this offense continuing to chug along. Another handoff. Smothers brought down after a gain of about 9. Brought down at the 10-yard line. Another big gain on first down from Smothers. This offensive line continuing to get some great push up front, and Smothers just falling right behind.
2nd down and 1.
We saw a lot of Doyle in that first half, but Smothers on this drive, back-to-back big runs. And Smothers still in there, 2nd down and 1 from the 10. He gets the call once again. Smothers following behind, picks up the first down and a couple more. It'll be 1st down and goal from the 6.
His way to the 6-yard line. L and Thomas on the stop.
You said at the start of the first half, the war of attrition with just the constant runs, and right now Frostburg's perfectly content with running the ball as it just wears down this Vulcan defensive front, who's usually good at stopping the run, but they keep getting those same calls over and over again. It takes a toll on anyone, really.
1st and goal from the 6. Brooks in the gun, Smothers alongside him, and Smothers gets the handoff. Smothers up the gut. Smothers trying to get the extra push, but he's not going to get there. Picks up 4, so still about 2 yards shy of the end zone. He's down at the 3, so 2nd and goal from the 3.
Carney and Green on the stop. Second down and goal from
And
the 3.
just continuing to try and power this one in, making a statement on this drive as they've run off a ton of clock here in this third quarter. It's been all Frostburg here in this second half. 2nd and goal from the 3. 2 receivers. Smothers the back, and Smothers gets the call again, and Smothers gets into the end zone for the Frostburg touchdown. And the Bobcats take the first lead of the afternoon, 20-14, 2:02 remaining here in the third quarter, awaiting the extra point to make it a 7-point game.
And again, you said it already, with the Bobcats just continuing to run the football, just wearing down that Vulcan front and able, that time, Smothers to punch it in.
Cook's kick is up, and Cook's kick is no good. He misses it.
2:02 left to go in the third quarter. The score now, Bobcats 20.
The score remains 20-14.
The NCAA thanks official
So California can hold on to that one as it remains a 6-point game, 20-14, 2:02 remaining in the third quarter. And the second missed kick of the afternoon, one from either side. And a bit of a lifeline now given to the Vulcans as they'll get the ball back.
You can argue that with that missed extra point, things definitely got a little bit more interesting now, as it's only a 6-point game. I believe the kicker, I believe it was Dominguez actually, they had out there to kick the extra point, and he missed it. I believe it was wide right. And now California only down 6, which would have been a slightly different story if it was 7, but still 2 minutes in the third quarter and plenty of time to work with. We'll see how Coach Dunn and Coach Salisbury organize things here for this next drive.
Brandon Keene to kick us off for the Bobcats. Another high one, but this one able to be fielded by Williams. And Williams with a couple of blockers ahead of him, and Williams still on his feet before finally being brought down past the 40, around the 43, 44-yard line. So the Vulcans, again, with some great field position to start. But California, again, we talk about it. I think I said it a bunch in that first half. And a very important offensive drive, but one where they're going to need to get some points on the board, as we can take a look once again at the Super Region 1 graphic. California versus Frostburg on the lower half. Kutztown versus Assumption, a score update. Kutztown leading 41-12. That one with a minute and 27 left in the third quarter. So nearly done and dusted there over on the east side of Pennsylvania. So the winner of today's game more than likely heading over to Kutztown. 1st and 10, handoff to Agenor. Trying to find some room, still on his feet, but being brought down by a flock of Bobcats after a gain of about 5 on the first down run by Agenor.
Mazalewski and Boyd on the stop. Gain of 4 on the play. That'll bring up a 2nd down and 6 from the 47.
It'll be 2nd down and 6. Ball at the 47. Deontay Williams, the back, alongside of Purcell. And now motioned out wide. Purcell swings it to him. Able to hold on to it. Williams shifting up the field, spinning up and past midfield. About 2 yards shy of the first down marker. 3rd and 2 now for California.
An interesting play call for the Vulcans as Williams just goes out wide, and Purcell just kind of dumps it to him. A little bit of an awkward pass you see on the replay, and Williams able to turn what seemed like nothing into something. Makes it a nice short 3rd down for California. We'll see if they can keep this drive going.
3rd and 2, just under a minute to go. There in the third quarter, Purcell hands it off. Agenor has the lane, just getting stuffed immediately, but the extra effort is enough to pick up the first down. Great heart that time by Kendrick Agenor. And an injured Bobcat down after the play.
Officials timeout. Injury. Defense.
It looks like number 13, Jalen Boyd, the linebacker.
You see him getting flipped over there during that replay, is now onto his knees and will slowly try to get back to his feet. The linebacker there for Frostburg, a little shaken up, is now walking off the field for the Bobcats. And again, hopefully he's okay, able to walk off the field on his own accord. But California continuing to to chug along now within Frostburg territory. 1st and 10. Ball at the Bobcat 45-yard line. 26 seconds remaining here in this third quarter. And the Bobcats with the lead 20-14. Three receivers to the far side, one to the near. Hershey in motion across the formation, play action. Hershey, the intended target, down the seam, bobbles it and holds it in. Rowan Hershey with the acrobatics. Great catch. Deep within Frostburg territory, and that'll end the third quarter.
Oh my goodness. Look at this replay. How in the world Hershey with the concentration able to haul that one in. And I mean, you saw my face here in the booth. I don't know how in the world he made that catch, but regardless, he did. That was an excellent catch by Hershey, the tight end. Hasn't really made too many grabs this season, but he's been huge in the blocking game. But clearly he can do it if he has the patience and the concentration to do so.
He tipped it to himself with the left hand and able to just readjust. Great acrobatic effort that time by Rowan Hershey. For a 20-yard gain, it'll be 1st and 10 from the Frostburg 26-yard line. What a interesting way to end the third quarter. 15 minutes remaining here at Adamson Stadium. Frostburg leading 20-14.
We have a phone that was found in the women's restroom. If you are trying,
it's a 6-point game, 1 quarter to play. I had a feeling coming into this game that it's going to be closer than what it was last time. And now, granted, the last time these two teams played was still a 5-point game, but I think it's one of those where it's going to come down to more of the wire than it did the last game.
Spencer in motion for California. Now back across the formation, gets the handoff. Spencer just trying to lead his blockers, gets a block from Agenor, and Spencer breaking a tackle, and Spencer brought down inside of the 10, brought down at around the 6-yard line. 1st and goal for California. And Amir Spencer being the conductor, pushing Kendrick Agenor into the block and getting down deep within Frostburg territory.
I mean, it was a great run by Spencer, but as you said, it wouldn't have happened without the block by Kendrick Agenor, able to pretty much run his man over, give Spencer a lane to get it down within the red zone and in within 10.
Agenor, 1st and goal on the rush, still moving. The pile finally being brought down at the 4-yard line.
The ball carrier makes his way to the 4-yard line.
The Vulcans on the doorstep trying to punch this one in. 2nd down and goal now from the 4. Two receivers to the far side, and Johnson and Long. Purcell sends Agenor out wide. Purcell on the QB draw, and Frostburg snuffs it out immediately. Brought down behind the line of scrimmage, and again, number 31 for Frostburg, Christian Taylor, brings them down for a 1-yard loss. 3rd and goal now from the 5.
Taylor's been caught a couple times with jumping offsides, getting a little too antsy, but that time able to read the play, and that time able to just snuff out the QB draw. As I believe timeout is called by California. Look at things over, trying to figure out how to get in the end zone and get this lead back.
Yeah, super important play here for California as we take a look at the Super Region 4 bracket. Harding versus Pittsburgh State, and Western Colorado versus UT Permian Basin. Pittsburgh State versus Harding. That game has just kicked off. UT Permian Basin in Western Colorado. That game kicking off at 3 o'clock. So no score updates to be heard of from those matchups. So some score updates from the other games. Albany State leading Benedict 7-3. Ferris State currently leading Ashland 21-17. Newberry leading West Florida 6-0. And U-Indy leading Minnesota 7-0. So those are the score updates around Super Regions 2 and 3. And again, Kutztown leading Assumption 42-12. The Golden Bears up by 30 with 13 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, awaiting the victor of this matchup. 3rd and goal now from the 5. Williams, the back, now in motion. Purcell rolling to his right, looking for an option, firing it, finds Johnson for the touchdown. He's second of the day, and Johnson ties it up. DeVay Johnson with the 5-yard score.
Just a designed QB rollout from the start. Purcell just rolling to his right. His initial look was Williams. It wasn't there, but he sees Johnson one-on-one, and he'll take that any day of the week. Johnson with his second touchdown grab, making California tie this game up and looking to go ahead with the extra point by Radcliffe.
Gonzalez to hold. Radcliffe's kick is up, and Radcliffe's kick is good. 21-20 the score, 13:08 remaining here in the fourth quarter. California leads. And again, I hope you don't have anything going on for the next half an hour or so, as we can take a look at that first score from Johnson, or that highlight play early on in this drive to set up this touchdown. That acrobatic grab from Hershey that led to this score is Purcell on that designed QB roll to the right. Like I said, that initial look was to Williams in the flat, but when you have a receiver as big as Johnson, you just throw it up to him. He had a couple of steps on the defender, was able to haul that one. He has the look over the sideline, just telling everyone to calm down a little bit. California's in control, but the Vulcans take a 1-point lead with 13:08 remaining.
It's a 1-point game. This game is certainly far from over. Still 13 minutes. As you said, hope you're not going anywhere anytime soon, because we got ourselves what seems like is going to be a thriller coming down to the end of it here. Again, the California crowd and the Frostburg crowd showing out pretty good on this holiday weekend. And again, everybody with the Vulcan cheerleading and marching band, and obviously us here at CUTV as well, coming out, taking time out of our holiday weekend for some late November football.
Hayden Bolin to kick us away. Back deep to return Austin Paul Umstead and Osmond Fanny. Will be fielded inside of the 15 and brought down just past the 30-yard line.
Return to about the 31-yard line.
And you take a look at that traveling Frostburg crowd. And again, this is a matchup before this game, or before the one earlier this season, that we had not seen in about 40 years. And it's a bit odd that we haven't seen, because the matchup, it's about 90 minutes separating these two teams from Frostburg, just down to Maryland. It's an easy drive, and one that we hope to see more often, because these two teams, two very, very good football teams. And we always say that iron sharpens iron, and nothing better here than in the playoffs. 1st and 10 now. Handoff. Doyle trying to bounce it out, but brought down immediately. Tawan Bandy able to wrap around the ankles, and a 2-yard loss on that first down run.
Loss of a yard on the play. That'll bring up a 2nd down and 11 from the 30.
Bandy just doing a good job to find the runner and able to just, as you said, wrap him up by the ankles, keeping Doyle to a limited gain, in this case a loss, giving Frostburg State some time to think about, instead of maybe having to do something else rather than just run it out.
2nd and 11. Brooks looking to throw. Quick pass to the flat, caught. Paul Umstead breaks off a couple of tackles, but just the swarm of Vulcans able to bring him down, gets back to the original line of scrimmage. So a 3rd and long situation here for Frostburg. It was Khalil Taylor on the initial stop. He was able to get away from Cromartie, but again, the rest of the Vulcan defense into support.
And that's the one thing you said about earlier with tackling. This team has made some mistakes trying to tackle, just unable to bring the player down. But there, as you said, the swarm of Vulcans able to come in and help out.
Brooks looking to throw on 3rd down. Has a man over the middle for the 1st down. Cruises Paul Umstead again inside of California territory. Brought down at the Vulcan 48-yard line, was wide open over the middle of the field. More than enough for the 1st down. Another reception for Cruz Paul Umstead. First down and 10 from the Vulcan 47. 3 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far. Handoff this time, Smothers. Nowhere really to go. Picks up about 3. Brought down Malachi Thomas in there on the tackle.
Thomas and Hopkins on the stop. And 3 on the play. That'll bring up a 2nd down and 7 from the 44.
It's been a healthy 1-2 punch between Smothers and Doyle. 4 receivers set now for Brooks. 3 on the far side, 1 on the near. But now everybody's shifting. A bunch set to the near or to the far side. Brooks looking to throw. California setting some pressure. Brooks hit late, but caught on the near side. Adamas able to haul that one in, and that's going to be enough for the 1st down.
Brooks doing a good job at just kind of hanging in that pocket. He took the pressure, got hit hard, but able to deliver the pass to Adamas, enough for the 1st down and keep this drive alive and the clock ticking.
Yeah, he got lit up that time by Alexi Sangster Jr. But a nice find to Adamas in the flat. Gives up a 1st and 10 at the Vulcan 34. Another shift in the formation. Brooks in the gun. And some movement at the offensive line. A false start this time. Bryce Ellison, number 60, the left tackle, the guilty party. That'll back him up 5 yards.
He was lined up, it looked like, against Cedric Vesa, and he had there was a couple times that Vesa has been able to get to the quarterback. And again, when you're the left tackle lined up against somebody like Vesa, you want to try and get as much of a step on him as you can, but you still want to keep it clean and not take that early step and move your team backwards.
1st and 15 now from the 39. Play action. Brooks rolling to his right, airing it out deep down the field. Has a man. Did he haul it in? Incomplete. Cruz Paul Umstead pulled it in, but the referees say he didn't get his feet down in bounds. The pass falls incomplete. I wouldn't be surprised if the referees intend to review, or they tend to review this one, because I think he caught it after that review as Cruz Paul Umstead's helmet flies off, and it looks like a challenge is going to be taken here by Frostburg, and I think they have a pretty strong case for it.
Frostburg is showing a challenging the rule on the field.
Again, it looked from the replay, as you said, that he did have his feet in bounds when he had possession of the football. As we take a look here, it looks like he has it in bounds. They just have to really see if his right foot is touching out at that same time the left foot's in. It's still incomplete, but if that other foot's in bounds, he has it. refs conferring now at the table, looking at the review. Again, from the replay, I don't know about my partner. It looked like to me that he had the catch. And so it would be first down, Frostburg, well within California in the red zone, but the refs now at the scorer's table looking to figure it out.
So one thing to note is that the review angles that the referees do have as they go over to the tent are not the angles that we have on this broadcast. The angles that they have are from either end zone, so the far end zone up top and the end zone to the near. So it's going to be an interesting way because we're not the ones operating the cameras. Our crew here and Mitchell Turner and James Anderson on the camera doing a fantastic job at catching that replay. 'Cause like I said, from our replay, it looks like Cruz Paul Umstead is able to haul that one in. But from the review angles on the field, I'm not quite sure if they're able to see that from where they have those cameras set up. So it's going to be interesting to see what angles that the referees have to look, because we don't have access to those angles. They don't have access to the angles that we have to look at as well. So a bit unfortunate in that aspect, but the referees having a extended look at this one because it's a huge, it's a huge play, because it can really flip the script here, because it's either second down and 15 from the 39 or first and goal from the 6-yard line here.
Well, you said that one of the cameras is at the far end zone, or the left end zone as we see it from our cameras. That looks like that may be their best shot, but again, as you said, it may depend on what the angle looks like as the refs are coming out. Looks like they have made a decision here. We await the call.
After review, the ruling on the field is upheld.
And they're going to say that the ruling on the field has been upheld, and it was an incomplete pass. Again, as I said, looking at our angle, it looked like he did have control and 1 foot in bounds, but it looked like the other touched out at the exact same time. So we get a look right there. It looks like his 1 foot is out of bounds as the other one is in. Great concentration and effort by Paul Umstead to try and haul that one in, but just unfortunately, the foot placement just a little bit off the mark, and that one falls incomplete.
Yeah, and a bit unfortunate that time for Frostburg as they now lose their challenge. And they lose the big play. That's the worst part of it. So now they're backed up second down and 15 from the 39. The big play wiped off the board.
California, you wonder if this might be the spark they need on the defensive side to try and turn things around and get off the field and keep the lead in their favor.
And they lose a timeout in the process as well. 9:07 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Brooks hands it off this time. Smothers with a lane. Smothers able to break off one tackle, brought down at the 29. Gain of 10 on that second down rush. Brings up a third manageable here for Frostburg.
And see Smothers able to break through a couple of tackles. Brought down by Hobbs, who breaks off his man. Able to bring down Smothers before he could get free and take it all the way. He had a lane and he wanted to go, but Hobbs, the hero on that play, able to stop it from happening, forcing a third and medium for Frostburg.
Third down and 5. Ball on the 29-yard line. California looking to send some pressure. Brooks looking to throw. Pass to the far side. Broken up. Marvell Cromartie with a hand. Able to swat that one away. Great coverage that time. Able to break it up. Brings up an interesting fourth down decision to be made here from the Bobcats.
See on the replay, Cromartie able to use his size to just make a play. Good friend of ours at CUTV, host of the Cromcast. That was an excellent play by Cromartie, and as you said, an interesting fourth down. Too long to kick it, too short to punt it. 4th and 5, crowd get into it. We'll see what happens here.
4 on the play clock, and Frostburg are going to have to burn their second timeout of the half. So that mischallenged has really come back to burn Frostburg, as now they're down to 1 timeout remaining in the half. So 8:17 remaining, 4th down and 5, a huge play coming up after this timeout, 21-20, 8:17 remaining here in the 4th quarter. A couple of score updates around the second round of Division II playoffs. Kutztown leading Assumption 56-12. Albany State leading Benedict 7-6. Ferris State leading Ashland now 28-17. Newberry leading West Florida 7-0. Minnesota State and U-Indy tied at 7-all. And Harding leading Pittsburgh State 6-0.
I think it's safe to say that the winner of this game is traveling across the state to go play Kutztown. Because, man, 56-12, that is a wild score in round 2.
Kutztown making up for a disappointing playoff run last year where they fell in the playoffs, which led to California hosting here. And now the Vulcan home side getting fired up for this 4th down, 4th and 5 from the 29. 4 receiver set, 3 to the far side, 1 to the near. Brooks looking to throw in the gun, has a man. Cruz Umstead hauls it in and muscles his way forward for the 1st down. A huge 4th down conversion here from the Bobcats, once again keeping this drive alive.
Paul Umstead knew how much space he really needed. The Vulcans played back in coverage, and Paul Umstead made a pay. He knew how far he needed to go out and then curl back in. He makes one man miss enough that he can lunge for a few more than the 1st down required, but he's been crucial in this game so far for the Bobcats, and he proves why there.
1st and 10 handoff this time. Smothers looking for an option.
Smothers the ball carrier.
Picks up about 6 on that 1st down run. And an injured Vulcan down on the floor, Trey Green, down after the play. A little slow to get up as both teams make their way over to the sideline. Number 43, Trey Green, the linebacker for California, has been crucial this season, really stepping up into his own, taking over that linebacker spot from some of California's greats over the last couple of years. And now a little slow to get up after that 1st down rush.
Well, you said stepping in that linebacker position. Pretty sure he was the one filling in for Grant Hopple, who has been battling an injury all season. Was out for a bit, back in, then out again. And Trey Green really, as you said, has been that guy who's really stepped up and filled that gap when the Vulcans needed it. And he's still down, and it's looking like for California, you just got to hope that he somehow just pops up, or at least can slowly get up and make his way off the field in some fashion, as they're still taking a look at Green down on the field.
On the depth chart here for California, as Green looks to make his way with a little bit of assistance back onto his feet. It'll either be Austin Kearns or Samuel Hobbs to fill in for him at Super Region 2, Albany State versus Benedict and West Florida versus Newberry. And those matchups, said Albany State currently leading Benedict 7-6, and Newberry leading West Florida 7-0 right now, as Trey Green hobbling off the field. Again, hopefully he's okay. He's able to make his way back into this contest as he heads into the red tent. It'll be 2nd and 6 for Frostburg from the California 18. 7:15 and rolling here in the 4th quarter. 3 receivers set, all to the near side. Man in motion, Adamas. Handoff, Smothers able to break through before being brought down by Charney for a 1st down, but it is 1st and goal now for the Bobcats.
The Bobcats have just done an excellent job patiently running the football, just waiting for blocks to develop, and this kind of running just really puts wear and tear on the defensive front, and California just having to fight that war of attrition over and over again on every drive really wears you down as the time goes on.
First and goal from the 9. Under 6.5 to go. Brooks in the gun. Hands it off. Smothers looking for anywhere to run. California wraps him up quickly and brought down right around the line of scrimmage, maybe a gain of 1. Keon Powell in there on the stop along with Charney. Picks up 1 or 2 on the play. It'll be second and goal from the 7.
Vulcans trying their hardest to keep this run game to a minimum, looking to hold on to their 1-point lead. Still just over 5 minutes left, but a lot can happen here if they continue to run this clock.
Second and goal. Quick toss to the far side. Screen pass. Paul Umstead trying to break free. Brought down inside of the 5 at around the 3. So third and goal now, as Frostburg inching ever closer to punching it into the end zone.
We keep saying Paul Umstead proving crucial that time on the screen pass, just trying to get a little bit closer to the end zone to potentially just set up a run for Doyle or Smothers, and in this case, Doyle's out there at the back.
Third and 3 as we're under 5 minutes to go now. Brooks in the gun, hands it off. Doyle breaking off of 1 tackle, but he has nowhere to go. Third down stop by California. And now a decision has to be made here by Frostburg. What do you do? Is it 4 down territory?
It looks like they are sending out the field goal unit. And I do think I like this decision to go for it. If you don't get it, you're up, or you're down 1 still with 4.5 minutes under and counting. But the Vulcans, one of the best kick blocking teams in all of football.
Harrison Fritz's kick is up, and Fritz's kick is good. And Frostburg retake the lead, 23-21, 4:06 remaining here in the 4th quarter. And everyone can hold their breath on the Frostburg side as Fritz is able to nail this one. And California will get the ball back with 4:06 left. And all they need is a field goal to retake the lead.
And that's the thing. California needs a field goal to take the lead and potentially win this game. If Frostburg had made that extra point that they missed, it would have been a 3-point game instead of a 2-point game. So really that extra point now starting to rear its ugly head and trying to come back potentially to haunt this Bobcat team. We'll see if California can put a methodical drive together with 4 minutes and 2 timeouts plus the 2-minute timeouts. So technically 3 timeouts in their back pocket. We'll see if they can put together a drive just to wind the clock down and send out Radcliffe to potentially advance them onto Kutztown.
Well, we got to get there first.
Yeah, you got to get there first. Or on the flip side, if the Bobcats can hold on and create a turnover or something, or just stop them and hold on and keep their playoff hopes alive and move on to Kutztown.
Brandon Geen to kick us away. Fair catch signaled, that time by Ricari L. I think Johnson is a bit frustrated as he was itching to return that one, but California take the safer approach as they'll set up shop. It's probably their one of their worst field positions of the afternoon. Off the kickoff, ball spotted at the 25-yard line. 4:06 remaining here in the 4th quarter. California down by 2, 23-21. And again, another Huge shout out to the Vulcan marching band and the cheerleaders and the dance team and everyone who's able to make their way out here on this Thanksgiving weekend. Roman Purcell in the gun. Play action, looking to pass on first down. Williams makes the grab. Williams with a big first down reception. Nearly able to break that one off for an even longer one, but tripped up right around midfield.
Just a great job by Williams, finding the gap over the middle, and Purcell able to hit him this time. A couple times they tried that earlier in the game and just kind of fell in and out of the hands, but that time Williams able to haul it in and break off a nice first down run, catch and run, excuse me, for the Vulcans.
1st and 10 from the 48. Spencer in motion. Will receive the handoff. Amir Spencer muscling forward, picks up 4 or 5 on the jet sweep. A couple of times we've seen that from Amir Spencer. Some nice healthy yardage on the first down run.
Vulcans content to just let this clock wind in no rush, wanting to take their time. Field goal wins it, a win's a win in that instance. 2nd and 6, just now under 3 minutes, and we'll see what California decides to do here with a 2nd and medium.
4 receiver set, Purcell in the gun, Agenor the back, Spencer in motion again. In orbit around Purcell. Play action looking to throw again, trying to find Williams in and out of his hands.
Pass is incomplete.
And Coach Dunn not happy, giving an earful to the near side referee.
Looks like Coach Dunn wanted a flag potentially on number 19, Tristan Forby, for pass interference, and it looked there that there was a little bit of extra contact, but no flag flies. And California now staring down a 3rd and medium.
3rd and 6 from the 48. Purcell adjusting the receivers. Purcell now looking to throw. Incomplete. Trying to find Spencer.
Pass is incomplete.
And the pass falls incomplete. And decision time once again.
Down and 6 from the 48.
Take a look at the replay here. Again, all the coaches on this side wanting a flag. They don't get it. Again, another one of those instances where it could have gone either way, really. That second one, I agree with the no call. But 4th down and 6 now. This is pretty much for the marbles here.
The Vulcans rolling the dice, 4th and 6. Purcell looking to throw, under pressure. Finds Johnson for the first down. Johnson inside of Frostburg territory, down at the 26. And as big of a 4th down conversion as you can get with their season on the line, Johnson delivers. 1st and 10 California.
And who else would you want to keep your season alive? DeVay Johnson has a pair of touchdowns and now a crucial 4th down catch. And California are perfectly content with letting the clock run to the 2-minute timeout, weighing their options still with 2 timeouts of their own and looking at just getting as close as they can to kick a field goal to win it.
And that will take us into the 2-minute timeout. 1st and 10 from the Frostburg 28. The rest of this, the remainder of the 2 minutes will be about making this field goal as perfect for Radcliffe as possible. Or California can look to punch it in. Nonetheless, the points on the board are points on the board. But California, like you said, are going to try to do take as much time off the clock as they can. But another year of playoff football here at Adamson Stadium, and another game that comes down to the wire, and another game that could come down to a last-second field goal.
We've seen a couple of these here at Adamson Stadium. Last year, we had 3 playoff games in a row here, and they all were really, really good games. Some of them right down to the wire, like this one is seeming to be. As you can see on your screen, Harry Radcliffe, an efficient kicker for California, has made them long, made them short, but the Vulcans are going to try and do everything absolutely in their power to just give it a nice, comfortable kick, or, as you said, my good friend Sape, to punch it in.
1st and 10 from the 28. Hershey in motion. Purcell gives it to Agenor. Still fighting forward. Runs into the pack of Bobcats. Gains 1, maybe 2. And the clock continues to move here as we're under 1:44. And the clock stops as somebody took a timeout. The referee's having a discussion in the middle of the field.
Another thing to note as well that I heard from the Frostburg radio announcers is like, yes, the Vulcans might be trying to play for the field goal, but we have to think Radcliffe came out for a field goal on the first, or to put up the first points of the game and missed it to the left. So it'll be interesting to see how the special teams play out.
Frostburg has declined it. 10-second run.
You can see here now the field goal from Radcliffe earlier in the game. The kick was up, and it was just kind of fishtailed to the left and no good.
Please set the game clock for 1 minute.
I'm not sure exactly what's going on here on the field.
I believe all I heard from the referees was a 10-second runoff that California chose to take a timeout to prevent the 10-second runoff from happening. So California takes their second timeout with 1:51 remaining. So both teams down to their final timeout with 1:51 seconds. It'll be 2nd down and 10 from the 28-yard line. And again, Harry Radcliffe was the PSAC second team special teams player as the kicker. All PSAC second team kicker. And he has some heavy boots to fill. Anthony Bico previously was, I believe, a 3 or 4-time D2 All-American.
One of the best.
One of the best, or possibly the best to ever do it here for California. So some heavy boots to fill, and the biggest kick in the young career of Mr. Radcliffe. And a man that I know very well. I've spoken with Harry Radcliffe a lot, and I know he's a very, very nice guy. And the weight of the game, as though it's shaping out, will rest on his shoulders. With 1:51 remaining, 2nd and 10. Hershey in motion. Purcell looking to throw. Pass is tipped and nearly picked off. Deflected and brought down. Rainier Havland able to bring it down, and the clock is running, so the referees are going to have to adjust it. So now an interesting situation emerges from this. Is a decent bit of time is still left on the board here for Frostburg. If California was playing for the field goal, they've left the door open here for Frostburg.
They have indeed. And California, even if they don't get the first down here, they at least want to try and get a few more yards. And depending on how close, potential decision for 4th down. But I feel right now they just need to get as many yards as they can, so that way the kick isn't as long.
Purcell looking to throw, and another tipped pass, and another pass nearly intercepted.
For Williams. That'll bring up a 4th down and 10 from the 28.
And what they were playing for, out comes Radcliffe to attempt the field goal. Be about 45 yards here for Harry Radcliffe.
Radcliffe has made kicks between 40 and 50 yards before, but this is going to be a crucial kick for Radcliffe here. And they will ice the kicker.
Timeout taken. The final one from Frostburg with 1:43 seconds. And they know the gravity of the situation. If Radcliffe misses this kick, Frostburg wins the football game as they can just run the timeout. But Harry Radcliffe, the sophomore from Uniontown, Pennsylvania, the Laurel Highlands Mustang, one of the more local players to this California team, has a chance to etch his name into the books and be the hero for California here. Again, California's played a lot of close games this season, but not a lot of them have relied on last-second heroics by Radcliffe. So now the biggest kick of Harry Radcliffe's career is now coming in this moment. About 45 yards here for Harry Radcliffe after the timeout. Andrew Gonzalez, the punter, to hold. Radcliffe's kick is up, and Radcliffe's kick, it's not going to get there. It's no good. Radcliffe misses. It's about 3 yards too short. Harry Radcliffe's kick didn't make it. And Frostburg on the precipice of heading to Kutztown next week to take on the Golden Bears.
Just a couple of yards separated California and the victory here today. Those couple of tipped passes by Frostburg just able to keep them in it, keep them alive. Frostburg defense standing strong, able to keep this game alive and send them to Kutztown to face the Golden Bears.
Hand off to Doyle on first down, just trying to waste off as much time as they can as California will take their last timeout. Frostburg need to get a first down to seal the deal, so to speak, as we can take a look at that field goal attempt one last time here from Radcliffe. And again, the wind, not too much of an issue, just it's a long one for Radcliffe, and that one just didn't have the leg for it. A couple of yards too short. And if Frostburg's able to pick up the first down, they'll head on over to Kutztown next week. As that game is final, the final score from Kutztown, they beat Assumption 56-19. But if California is able to get a few stops here, they can get the ball back with about 30 seconds left. And we've seen in this stadium what can happen. So I'm not willing to write anything off. But again, the chances are almost zero, but it's more than zero.
I was
so
going to say,
anything is possible here at Adamson Stadium.
You were here for that California Magic at homecoming for the Vulcans, where they walked it off. But again, bearing any turnover or anything here, Frostburg can get the first down.
Another handoff, Doyle picking up the yardage, and Doyle picks up the first down. And Frostburg are heading to Kutztown next week. The Bobcats as you can hear, you could probably hear all of the coaches around us, the agony and despair from the California coaches and the excitement from the Frostburg side as Frostburg pull off the victory here in California. They knock off the Vulcans, and they will head on over to Kutztown next week and face off the Golden Bears in the third round of the Super Region 1 playoffs here in Division 2. We said it was going to come down to the wire, and it did.
Yeah, what a game for these two teams. We've had turnovers, we've had big offensive plays, we had big defensive plays. We've had it all here today at Addison Stadium, and Frostburg punches their ticket to the third round of the Division II football playoffs. It's been a crazy game, and it's been an honor here to commentate this game with you, my good friend Sape. And again, just a big thank you to everybody here at CTV who came out, and everybody to come out and cheer for the Vulcans. Fortunately, fell just short by a couple yards, but it was a great game nonetheless.
Congratulations to Frostburg. They will head on over to Kutztown next week to take on the Golden Bears in the next round of the Division II football playoffs. One final time, that field goal attempt from Radcliffe, just a couple of yards shy. Your final score here from Adamson Stadium, it is Frostburg 23, California 21. From everyone here at CUTV, thank you very much for watching. From our director, Gary Smith, from my broadcast partner, Hunter Garman, my name is Jonathan Sape. Thank you all for watching on ESPN+, and as always, good night, California.